I know, this is going to hurt a little. I'm sorry already. But let's be honest. If you're frustrated with your marketing and you're not getting any result, it is very likely that your strategy is just a waste of time and money. You spend hours you don't have creating content, agonizing over social media, or trying to do that cold messaging that you hate, that simply makes you want to dig a hole and just disappear in it. And all for what? For a bunch of likes and that daunting feeling that everything is just pointless. And well, if you've been feeling alone in this or if you've been feeling behind, let me tell you that today I actually read a recent study made by Constant Contact that said that 73%, yes, you heard me, 73% of small business owners feel not confident in their marketing worldwide. They feel overwhelmed and they cannot tell if what they're doing is actually bringing in results. That is, oh my god. So, if you've been nodding along, this video is for you, okay? Listen to me. Let's break this hamster wheel together, shall we? So, if you're a small business owner, it is very likely that you're both the CEO, the head of product, you are the marketing and sales department, and of course, all at once. And as hard as this sounds, you know you have to market your business to grow. So that's why you start searching for advice and, of course, solutions, only to end into this tsunami of so-called gurus telling you something that's completely different from what you heard previously, and it's going to be different from what you hear tomorrow. If only I had €1 for all the time I heard niche like this, don't niche like this, you are the niche, I would be so rich. But if you've been following me, you already know that when you're evaluating advice, you should really look for the context. And honestly, I don't blame you because you're flooded also with weird jargon or weird acronyms. Or whatever. You're told to build a community, then you're told to be an influencer, then you're told to be a content creator, then to send an email, then to start a podcast. And everything, of course, together at the same time. So you try to piece together a strategy out of all the advice you heard, the webinars you followed, the freebies you've been downloading, and you burn your weekend trying to build that hyper complex funnel because you know that this time is gonna work. And it doesn't. Or even worse, it's bringing in terrible leads. The sales are not happening, and you wasted another precious weekend that you could have spent with your family or even just resting, honestly. You're doing more work than ever, but your business isn't growing any faster. Look, what I've seen in my experience after working with completely different types of businesses, companies of any size and industry, is that the fundamental error I see is that founders obsess a lot on tactics and they completely neglect the fundamentals. As if a trendy promotion could save your messaging. Spoiler, it doesn't. You can build the fanciest funnel, but the customer journey will always be messy and chaotic. And if you don't understand the basic principle that works behind it, can't make it work. People jump in at different stages, or they move back and forth into the funnel and are influenced by a million things. So if you actually want to see the change, these are the things you really want to focus on. And I swear, this is going to simplify your thinking. It's not going to add more complexity. So let's talk about the 3 levers of growth first. And here, please forget all the jargon, everything you know. Let's just keep it very quick and easy, okay? To grow your business, there are 3 main things you can work on. So let's start by the obvious. So the number of customers. You want more people to buy from you, to make the first purchase. And this is where most of your marketing usually focuses on. Attracting new eyeballs or generating new leads. Every time you post some content on social media or run an ad with the goal of getting more attention from new people, this is what you're working on. Then you can increase the value per transaction. And this just means getting the same customer you already want to buy more. And you can do this through upselling, cross-selling, or with product bundles, for example. So here you're focusing on selling more to the same person. And last but not least, there's the frequency. So here you're trying to increase the loyalty of your clients so they can buy more often from you. It is when you turn a one-time buyer to a repeat customer and eventually into a brand ambassador, or in general, a huge fan of your brand. And you usually do this via loyalty programs or nurturing them via newsletters or even subscription models. Now, just by connecting one of these goals to your actions should clear your mind on what to invest to and what to discard entirely. Whenever you're starting a new campaign, for example, you can ask yourself, which one of the levers do I want to pull right now? And is this the most effective way of doing it? So suddenly you have a filter for your decisions and you go from what should I do to what do I need to achieve. So it is about simplifying your focus. Now that this is clear, we can move to the marketing essentials that get ignored the most, in my opinion. And if you ignore these, it doesn't matter how viral your reel is gonna go, you're still building a house on sand. So first one, the core one, it's targeting and profiling. Niche down, don't niche down. But why? Why is niching important at all? It has nothing to do with excluding people for the sake of excluding people. Why would you want that? It's actually about creating resonance. You need to know the specific pains that your ideal client has. You need to know what they worry about at 2 a.m. on Google when they type under the bed, and because they don't know who else to ask to. And you need to know the exact language they use when they do it. When you target correctly, marketing feels more like a one-to-one conversation rather than a public speech. Yeah, and us introverts, we love that, right? Then we have the funnel. And please don't let these words scare you. It is just a simplification of how humans work and how we build trust. People don't wake up and hand money to strangers. They see you, but they need to get to know you before they can trust you and buy. We use the funnel model not because we're trying to push people down the marketing pipe, but it's because we want to be sure that we're not asking for marriage proposal at a first date. And I'm talking about sales and the first impression. I actually already used this analogy in an old newsletter. I'm gonna leave it down in the description. It's about client stages and how to module your messaging. And speaking of the devil, messaging is the last thing, because messaging is the what, while content is the how. Most small business owners focus a lot on the how, but very little time on tailoring the what. And I'm gonna give you a relatable example here. If my message was, I sell digital marketing coaching, I'd be competing with literally any other coach on earth. This would make me double the effort if anyone gets even interested in what I'm doing, in explaining what diversifies me from my competition, that is also pretty wide at this point. Or even worse, I should spend so much time justifying my prices compared to the person that's charging less. If my message instead is, I help small business owners who are introverted stop second guessing themselves in marketing by teaching them the basics they actually need, what I'm doing is positioning myself and talking directly of a specific problem that I know my audience has. So content is simply the box that delivers the message, but if what's inside the box is meaningless, it still won't land. And now that you know this, you can actually understand why I created the PACE framework. That's literally the foundation of my group coaching. I built it because small business owners are already overwhelmed by the standard marketing playbook. And if you're an introvert, this adds an extra level of complexity because you're trying to market yourself with tactics that actually highlight your weaknesses instead of leveraging your strengths. And we all know that this is a one-way ticket to burnout land, right? And it's called PACE because every letter stands for something, and it's P, profiling, so you stop second-guessing your messaging. A is architect your content system, so we build something that won't drain your energy, works for you so you keep consistent. And C is convert naturally, meaning that we create a funnel that makes sense for you and your ideal audience based on a customer journey that actually makes sense. So when people get to you, you don't have that icky feeling of being a pushy salesperson that honestly no one here probably is, me included, because I hate that. And E stands actually for evolve your mindset, because the biggest problem for us introverts is actually the internal pressure, our overthinking brains that won't cut the string for even just one small second. Because I don't want you to get out of the program and do all this work to just self-sabotage yourself. Let me put on my glasses to do this. I see you. So if you're interested, it's 12-week, 8 people max per cohort. and we work on exactly what we talked about today. So, your marketing foundation. You will walk away with a real audience map, with a marketing system that makes sense for you, and a strategic plan laid out that makes sense for you and your persona in a way that fits who you are and your life, your actual life, not your dream life. I'm currently opening the first cohort, and I'm actually having a very, very special discount because I'm looking for testers. So if you're interested, feel free to book a call. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. And yeah, well, I'll be super happy to talk to you. What we do in the call, we talk about your marketing problems, we see where you're at, and we see if my program, if it's something that can actually help you. And if not, I'm honestly very happy to point you towards what you actually need. And this was actually the end of the video, so thank you so much for getting here. I'm gonna see you next week. Have a nice weekend.